Yo, this whole storm Area 51 is crazy and is getting a little bit out of hand. Hopefully nobody got shot. I don't think that was gonna be, they had things under wraps. Guys, a few hundred people actually went out to Area 51. Of course, most of them were YouTubers, right? There was a couple streaming the live event, and these guys were well prepared, and they looked like they were ready to Naruto run right near them military or camo dudes or whatever. Okay, Area 51. I'm gonna generalize because this is basically how I see it. We live in this world, right? In the 40s, think about how we thought of the world, right? Fast forward 30 years, 4, 5, 6, 7. That 30-year time span is very, very vital to us as a human species here on Earth. Why? A lot changed from the 40s to the 50s to the 60s to the 70s. 4, 5, 6, 7. A lot changed, right? Let's take a look at this, right? In recap, I'm just gonna generalize because you guys can do all this research and all that later. Okay, so war, that affected us a lot. Area 51 is a top secret military base. Area 51 is a top secret military base, okay? Roswell, New Mexico. Supposedly aliens are in their ships. An alien ship landed, and supposedly we had a couple aliens, or we still do. Because you don't know, like, these guys might be like, they age like different, right? So 50% of our atmosphere, guys, you have to realize this. 50% of our atmosphere is space, right? We don't know more than 7% of what is in our freaking oceans, in our water, let alone what's out there in space. We have not explored anything on this world, right? So, Area 51, aliens, conspiracies. It's a military installation, right? So where was I? War. 40s, 50s, and 60s. 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Those 30 years were crazy. From the wars that were happening, and it kind of ties back to like World War I, World War II, and shoot, damn near the World War III that we're in, but it's not really like stamped, right? It's not really stamped, but the whole world is at war if you think about it. Like, there's been wars going on perpetually for a long time. We need to get out of this rut. So my point is, consciousness, Area 51, the 60s, the mentality that can't even talk. The mentality that we had during the 60s with the new psychedelic drugs, everything ties in together, guys. From war to the Roswell crash to our technology that somehow after that area, we just started developing a bunch of technology that, in my mind, we wouldn't have gotten as far as we did and as far as we have and as far as we're going to get if it weren't for some sort of alien technology that we have been reverse engineering. This is real, guys. In the last couple of days, the news actually, this is on mainstream now. Like, this is on mainstream media now, right? This is on ABC. This is on CNN. MSNBC, Fox News. This is on the whole spectrum of the truth, quote unquote, that's out there. And the Navy has came out, or some sort of, military installment, whatever. They actually came out and said, or the Air Force or whatever, they actually came out and said that all those alien encounters, they're actually the real deal. Like, that's big. From Obama a couple years back saying that aliens were real, or not aliens were real, I'm sorry. From Obama coming out and stating that Area 51 is real, to to just all these things. Like, I know I'm everywhere, I'm all over the place, but this is how I think. You gotta put all these pieces together and it makes a bigger picture, guys. So war, the 60s, the technology that comes from that time span, from 50s, 60s, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? That time span is crazy. And I believe a lot has to do with that alien technology that we've been reverse engineering. For instance, GPS has been around for 50, 60 or plus years. It was a military technology at first to pinpoint somebody, to blow them to smithereens, right? That's all fine and dandy, but talk about we're not alone and love and peace. Anyways, this is why I have a tattoo called Light Up the Darkness. You can see that. That's what it says. My point is, we need to be enlightened, and this is the disclosure that we need. This Area 51 event is kind of like, it's a starting point, I guess. Roswell, us going to the moon, right? All these crazy things that have been happening from, for instance, Bob Lazar. I don't know if you guys have ever looked into that. You guys need to look into that if you haven't. But if you know, there's some people out there that they're like, okay, we know all this, we get it, yeah, right. But there's some people that haven't heard any of this, so it's like, I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. I'm not a professional about everything, but I'm not a rookie, or I'm not, you know what I mean. So yeah, my perspective, my alchemist prime or high alchemist perspective is on this subject is that we are definitely not alone on this earth, because like I said, 50% of our atmosphere is space. We know little about our own environment, let alone the oceans, right? Like I said, so a lot has changed, and you have to realize that again. Like GPS technology, guys, drones, they went from conspiracy to industry, right? And this all comes from the reverse engineering we did on the Roswell, New Mexico crash. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, maybe there was one before or after, but basically aliens landed from the 40s to the 70s. Aliens landed on Earth. We were fighting with each other. We're still doing it, but this is what's changed us a lot. That alien technology helped me get here with all this with all this technology that I'm using right now. This wouldn't have come into fruition. This wouldn't be here, I think so, without some sort of out of this world technology that we encountered in that time span. And I believe that it changed our world for the better. I think that's and this is in a lot of movies and whatnot. I believe, okay guys, I can talk about all these movies with space and aliens and different beings and in different dimensions, and I can tell you that it's all real and whatnot, but it's you're gonna say, well, they're movies and this or that. But it just, for me, it makes too much sense sometimes. And I'm not saying I personally have never seen a, teleporting machine or an alien or even, some sort of anything paranormal, right? Like, I believe in that stuff. I believe in it. I actually believe in the paranormal of every encounter, or, of every kind, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, and there is a balance. There's good, there's bad, right? You can look at my other videos for examples of like the balance in between good and evil in life. And, I've made videos about, consciousness and being, what it means to be a human being, to live, right? And it's weird. It's weird. If you look at this world, like, let's go, like, I'm talking to the person, hopefully that person is still here, but let's not believe in any of this, right? Let's just look at the facts. Like, we live in a world that is made out of atoms. Like, everything in this world is made out of atoms. Like, atoms make up 99.999% space. Like, an atom is really just a holographic, energetic thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can look this up. Like, these are the facts. This is the world we live in. Like, from quantum mechanics to spooky action at a distance. Like, all these things, they make sense. All these points, they come together to form a bigger picture. In my mind, I personally think so. And if you are there, and if you understand what I'm saying, good. That's what I want. I want people to realize that we are not alone. Like I said again, we are not alone. And Area 51, first of all, people need to be very careful, because first and foremost, it's strange, because if you go to any other Air Force field or military installment or whatever, any type of government top secret, or even like, whatever, like any base, it has fences and guards and whatnot. But it's weird because Area 51, and I'm sure a lot of you know this, it's just 2 posts that have some writing on it, warning, military, whatnot, those are infamous, like those are famous. Everyone knows those signs, but that's it, right? And yeah, they have technology from 2058, with like some 3D mapping of the whole area. Like, it's literally like 50 or 60, everything in or around Area 51 is, and I'm being modest, like a good 50 or 60 years from, or who knows, because times have changed, and I believe we are advancing at a very, very, very fast rate. And with this event, Area 51 or Storm Area 51, it's, so basically, I look at it like this. Before the government, or like, the people that, whatever in this world, that have the power to say, hey, you know what, like, this is the truth or whatnot, they before didn't have an idea of what people would do if they, like, for instance, like the only like reaction, before all this, especially in the last 10 years or, or so, were like movies, right? Like Independence Day and, Alien versus, all these movies, like I said, all these movies. And, again, are we that smart? I'm not saying we're that stupid, but are we that smart to just, J.K. Rowling this whole thing? Like, even J.K. Rowling, guys, like, and this is kind of out of subject, but just aliens and technology and this and that. If you are with me here, so that you can kind of like see where it kind of like connects. Magic is real. Magic is real. We have powers. I can say anything in my head, and I can hear it loud and clear. And for some of those that can, it's like telepathy, whatever. All these powers that are mysterious and mystical and ancient. You know, you've seen the TV shows. You know, it was aliens. Maybe it was. This is all real, folks. This is all real. It's weird. Consciousness. There are beings elsewhere. You know, there are beings. Maybe there are beings inside Area 51. You never know. And this is the whole reason why we wanted to go in there. Yeah.